Hey Bears fans, we're back with an exclusive video and the latest updates on our beloved Chicago Bears. Before we dive in, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. That way, you'll always stay up to date with breaking news and exclusive content. Something wild just went down in Chicago, and trust me, the football world can't stop talking about it. According to several people close to the situation, Bears head coach Ben Johnson made a shocking move that nobody saw coming. He's reportedly kicked cornerback KYLER Gordon off the team. Yeah, you heard that right. Expelled him from the Chicago Bears organization after what's being described as a heated and disrespectful exchange during practice earlier this week. Sources say things started small, just a disagreement over defensive assignments, but it quickly escalated into something much uglier. Players nearby said voices were raised, tempers flared, and Johnson, who's been known for his no-nonsense approach since taking over as head coach, decided enough was enough. The locker room, apparently, went dead silent afterward. Imagine the tension. One of the team's most athletic and promising defensive backs suddenly told to pack his things and leave Hallis Hall immediately. No press conference, no warning, no social media hints. Just gone. This whole thing has created a firestorm among fans, and it's got people asking one big question. Was Ben Johnson trying to send a message, or did he just lose control of his locker room? People around the league are saying this might be the boldest, or maybe the most reckless, move Johnson has made since stepping into the job. You gotta understand, KYLER Gordon wasn't just another name on the depth chart. He was seen as a cornerstone for Chicago's young secondary. Explosive, instinctive, and capable of making those game-changing plays that flip momentum in an instant. To let go of a player like that, especially mid-season, is unheard of unless something serious happened behind the scenes. Insiders claim the tension between Gordon and Johnson didn't start yesterday. Apparently, it had been brewing for weeks, maybe even months, over issues of discipline and accountability. Gordon, known for his flashy personality and strong opinions, reportedly clashed with Johnson's strict, military-style leadership. One source even hinted that Gordon questioned Johnson's play-calling decisions in front of the team, a move that clearly didn't sit well with the head coach. Now, Johnson's decision has thrown the entire organization into chaos. The veterans are supposedly divided, the younger players are confused, and the front office? Silent. Completely silent. Social media, as expected, is absolutely exploding. Fans are split right down the middle, with one side praising Johnson for setting a standard and the other calling him out for letting his ego dictate a massive football mistake. On X, formerly Twitter, the hashtags #FreeKyler and #BearDownDrama are trending like wildfire. Some former players have already weighed in, a few defending the coach, saying discipline is necessary, others calling it an overreaction that could derail the locker room. One former NFL scout even tweeted, "You don't teach respect by blowing up your roster." The narrative now isn't just about KYLER Gordon anymore. It's about control, leadership, and how far a coach can go before his team stops buying in. And honestly, that's where it gets interesting. Johnson supporters argue that this move could actually unite the team, that cutting out a source of tension will help everyone focus. But the critics say the opposite, that by publicly humiliating a talented player, Johnson might have just fractured his locker room beyond repair. It's a power struggle that's far from over, and the fallout is only beginning. Inside Hallis Hall, the atmosphere reportedly feels heavy, almost eerie. Sources say the energy at practice the next day was off, like players were walking on eggshells, unsure of what might be next. Coaches try to keep things professional, running drills and focusing on the upcoming game, but everyone knew something had shifted. Gordon's absence was loud, like a void nobody wanted to acknowledge. One anonymous player even told a local reporter, "It feels like we lost more than just a teammate. We lost trust." That kind of statement tells you everything. When trust begins to fade between players and their coach, it doesn't matter how strong your game plan is. Chemistry dies, and with it, momentum. The Bears were finally building some rhythm after a rough start to the season. And now this? The timing couldn't be worse. Some say Johnson's decision was premeditated, a calculated way to assert dominance and re-establish authority. Others believe it was pure emotion, a snap decision made in anger. Either way, the damage control from the PR team is going to be massive. Then there's KYLER Gordon himself, who hasn't made a single public comment since the incident. That silence speaks volumes. His last social media post was a cryptic one. Just a black screen and the words "truth always wins." Fans immediately started decoding it, wondering if it was directed at Johnson or the organization. Some say Gordon's already been contacted by other teams, though, of course, nothing official yet. If this rumor turns out to be true, he won't stay unsigned for long. A player with his talent and athleticism is always in demand, no matter the drama attached. But the big question is, what really went down between him and Johnson? Was it truly about discipline, or is there something deeper brewing behind closed doors? Some speculate there were disagreements about defensive schemes, maybe even favoritism in the lineup. Until someone speaks up, it's all speculation, but the silence from both sides only makes the story bigger. Everyone's waiting for that one insider to break the full story wide open. If you followed the Bears this season, you know emotions have been high. They've had flashes of brilliance followed by painful collapses, and that kind of inconsistency breeds frustration. Ben Johnson came in promising a culture shift. More structure, more accountability, fewer distractions. And for a while, it seemed like the team was buying in. But now, with Gordon's sudden departure, people are asking if that same hardline philosophy might actually be backfiring. Coaches talk about culture all the time, but culture only works when players believe in the message. Once that belief cracks, even a winning team can crumble from within. And that's where this story becomes more than just a player versus coach drama. It becomes a reflection of leadership itself. Is discipline worth losing one of your best players? Or should a coach adapt to manage different personalities? In the end, Johnson may have drawn a line in the sand, but whether that line strengthens his authority or isolates his players remains to be seen. The next few games will tell us everything about how deep this fracture really goes. Now here's where things start getting even more intriguing. People inside the organization are whispering that this whole ordeal might have been brewing since training camp. Apparently, Gordon wasn't exactly thrilled with the new defensive philosophy Johnson implemented. He reportedly felt it limited his creativity and instinctive play, two traits that made him stand out early in his career. Johnson, on the other hand, wanted structure and predictability, a system built on discipline and execution rather than improvisation. That philosophical clash might have been the root cause of everything. Add in a few frustrating losses and some finger-pointing behind closed doors, and it's easy to see how things exploded. Players say the final argument between the two was about communication. Gordon allegedly spoke out of turn during a film session, questioning why he was being asked to cover certain assignments without safety help. Johnson snapped, told him to play his role or leave, and when Gordon fired back, the coach followed through. Just like that, one of Chicago's brightest young defenders was out the door. It's the kind of story that makes you wonder if leadership and ego can ever coexist peacefully in today's NFL. Behind the scenes, the front office reportedly tried to calm things down before it got this far. Some sources claim general manager Ryan Poles stepped in, suggesting a suspension or fine instead of outright removal. But Johnson, standing firm, refused to compromise. He believed Gordon's behavior undermined his authority, and according to people close to him, Johnson sees this as a defining moment in establishing his culture. You can't build a winning program on exceptions, he allegedly told staffer. Whether that's admirable or stubborn depends on who you ask. Some around the league admire his backbone. Others say he just cost his team a key defensive playmaker because of pride. And when pride enters the equation, things tend to spiral fast. The locker room, meanwhile, remains in limbo. Veterans are reportedly counseling younger players to stay out of it, but you can't ignore that kind of tension forever. Eventually, something's got to give, and if the Bears drop a few games after this mess, the pressure on Johnson will be immense. KYLER Gordon, on the other hand, is sitting back and watching all of this unfold like a movie. Sources close to him say he's disappointed but not surprised, hinting that this fallout was inevitable. Apparently, he felt targeted by Johnson's staff from early on, especially after an offhand comment during preseason interviews where he mentioned wanting more freedom on defense. That quote didn't sit well with the coaching staff, who viewed it as criticism of the system. Now, with everything boiling over, Gordon's camp is staying silent, but insiders expect a public statement soon, maybe even an interview where he tells his side. And when that happens, oh, you can bet it's going to light up every sports show in America. The guy's got charisma and confidence, and if he decides to speak out against Johnson, it could spark a full-blown PR nightmare for the Bears. What's worse, a few teammates reportedly reached out to him privately, expressing support and frustration with how the situation was handled. That's not a good sign for a locker room already on edge. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep bringing you the latest updates on our Chicago Bears. And don't be shy. Drop your thoughts on the news in the comments below. Media analysts are already comparing this situation to past NFL controversies, from Josh McDaniels clashing with veterans in Denver to the Urban Meyer chaos in Jacksonville. When a coach loses the locker room, it rarely ends well. Johnson's defenders argue that this kind of culture reset takes time, that every great coach has moments where he has to make unpopular choices. But the critics see it differently. They think this could be the beginning of the end. The Bears organization has been desperate for stability for years, and instead of building continuity, they've now walked straight into another firestorm. You got to feel for the fans, too. They were finally starting to believe that this might be the year things clicked, that Chicago could climb back into playoff relevance. Now, instead of celebrating improvement, they're dealing with rumors, leaks, and uncertainty. That emotional whiplash is brutal. And if Johnson can't turn things around soon, the whispers about him losing his job will grow louder than any pep talk he can give. And then there's the question of what happens next for Gordon. Teams across the league are definitely watching this closely. A young cornerback with speed, instincts, and starting experience? He's not staying unemployed for long. If he clears waivers, contenders with injury problems in the secondary, teams like the Ravens, Cowboys, or even the Chargers might take a shot at him. And if he signs elsewhere and performs well, that's going to sting for Chicago. Imagine him locking down receivers in another uniform while the Bears' defense struggles. That kind of scenario can haunt a franchise. It's why this situation feels like a lose-lose right now. Johnson might have won the battle for control, but he could lose the war for team chemistry and credibility. The NFL is a results-driven league, and players talk. If word gets around that Chicago's not a player-friendly environment, good luck attracting top talent in free agency. That's the kind of long-term ripple effect decisions like this can have. At the end of the day, this whole saga feels like one of those moments that define a season, maybe even a coaching tenure. Ben Johnson wanted to prove he's the man in charge, and no one, not even a talented young star like KYLER Gordon, is above the rules. But leadership isn't just about control. It's about connection, about finding that balance between discipline and respect. If Johnson can rally his team, if the Bears come out swinging and start winning, this story fades into history as a footnote in his rise. But if the team crumbles, if the locker room fractures and the losses pile up, then this moment, this decision, will be remembered as the spark that lit the fire. Either way, one thing's for sure. Chicago won't forget this anytime soon. The fans, the players, the media, everyone's watching now. And for Ben Johnson, every game from here on out isn't just about football. It's about proving that his way, no matter how controversial, can actually lead to victory. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Chicago Bears, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.